Hello, everybody. My name is Allison Pereira, and today I'm going to walk you through my midterm project, which is a dashboard using PowerPivot, pivot charts, and slicers. So, just to start, the purpose of my dashboard is to take you through a history of the legendary band, the Beatles. And what this dashboard is going to have you do is just gain a high level knowledge about when they sold their albums, how many albums did they sell, where did they sell their albums, and a few more data points that we'll get into a little bit later. Just to start off, I wanted to show you the data that I used for my power pivots. So if you see in here, this is where I consolidated all of my resources into one Excel file. So I was able to easily import this into my PowerPivot and kind of create a nice database for my pivot charts that I created. So as you can see, I imported it into here, into my PowerPivot source. Now if we go back into my project, all right, so I guess we can start now. The first item here is my album timeline. So the way that I created this was, it's actually a pivot chart with a line chart with markers. Now, in order for me to get it to look like this, I used drop lines on each of the markers. Also, in order to get it to be horizontally consistent across the top, I had to adjust the height of the plot area, as well as add a formula in my PowerPivot data, which is right here. So I used a count rows for the album timeline row, and it was able to count all of these different rows. And when I imported the data, it turned out that the number of rows were 1 for each of them, so it was flat across the top. So that's how I was able to do that. And then to get in these images here, I used the Insert tab, and I was able to use this online picture search tool for Bing. That allowed me to search for each of the albums and add them to my chart here. All right, so then if you scroll down here, so I was able to, for this portion, this is the number of albums sold by country. Now on the left over here, I created a map visualization using the Bing tool again for the maps. So now for this, I changed the color of the dots here, and the bigger the dot, the more albums that were sold in that country. You're actually able to use this filter ability here, and you can filter for each of the countries. So now if you want to see just the United States, say Germany and France, you can just apply that. And as you can see, the United States sold a lot more albums than anything in Europe. Now if you scroll over to the right here, this is the country distribution of albums sold, so it's easily shown in this pie chart here. This is again using my PowerPivot data. And then I also created this filter here using a slicer, and you're able to click on however many countries you want to see. So say you want to get rid of Brazil, you can do that. Get rid of Canada, you could do that. Australia. As you can see, the United States in gray here is towering over all of these different countries. So if you exclude United States though, and you want to add in the rest of the countries, you can see the next down the line is Canada. So that is the second to most albums sold country. All right, so that's it for that. Now down here, so this is the number of weeks on the top charts for their albums. Now, I created a pivot chart, and it's a combo chart with a cluster column and a line with markers. Now on the left here, you'll see on this axis is the number of weeks on the top charts, and the right axis is the number of weeks ranked number 1 on the top charts. Now, as you can see down here, the black line is number of weeks ranked number 1, and then the blue bars are number of weeks on the chart in general. So then again, with the slicers, I created slicers over here where you can filter for album title. You want to see how many weeks they were ranked number 3, or maybe number 7. Maybe you want to see both or all of them. You can do that too. And then you can also filter for USA ranked number 1 only, so that'll change that up and respin the data in the chart here. All right, so then the next chart, so this is similar to the one I just showed you, except this explains their singles, not their albums. So as you can see, I mean, it's pretty much built the same way. You're able to filter for all the same filters, except for now this is the song titles instead. You want to see USA ranked number 1, you can do that. You can filter for each song. So I Want to Hold Your Hand was on the top charts for 22 weeks and was ranked number 1 5 weeks. So yeah, I mean, that is both of those charts. They're pretty much built the same way, like I said. All right, so moving on. So next we have the percent of songs written by each Beatle. So this, I kind of wanted to highlight this because the Beatles were such an influential band in musical history in general. And one of the reasons is because all of the Beatles pretty much wrote almost 90% of their songs. So that's pretty significant, especially these days. You know, artists hardly write any of their songs. So this is definitely influential for all artists these days. So if you want to look at different albums, you can use the filters here, you know, and it'll respin that for you in the chart. You can filter for the year, you know, who wrote what in each year. As you can see, Ringo is not here at all. He hardly wrote any songs. If he did, it was probably 1 or 2. He was just a drummer for the band. All right, so moving on. Now, who can compete with this? So now this is sales by artist. So this is all artists. I just wanted to show that the Beatles here in this blue bar is clearly towering over all of these different artists. So just wanted to show that. And, you know, again, this is a pivot chart using clustered columns. I adjusted, you know, the axis here and, you know, changed the colors and inserted these slicers so that you can filter for each of the artists. So if you want to see, let's just see in 1967, you want to see that, or maybe 1969, the Carpenters, Aerosmith, you know, you can see all of that. So this is a pretty good tool. Now, the 1960s, that's where the Beatles were. And you can see against Paul McCartney, which is a Beatle, and Barbra Streisand clearly towering over all of them. So, so yeah, I mean, this is my dashboard to kind of show you how the Beatles are so legendary and to kind of give you a basic high-level knowledge of the Beatles. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed my presentation. If you have any questions, you know, you can let me know. Thank you. Bye.